Fear of what?
Fear of loss, that this is, because this is one of the areas that I think they feel they have the least amount of control over.
If they fear, if they say no, the customer will not buy. And when the customer does not buy, they got no other customers to sell to. And when they got no other customers to sell to, they will lose their job. And when they lose their job, their上有老下有小, the whole family will go homeless and so on. So there's a huge amount of fear built into the emotional part of the salespeople that they are afraid to say no, right? And to overcome that fear, well, one way is to increase your EQ, your empathy. 那个情商可以提高一点，来控制自己的这个恐惧感。The easier way, 更容易的是 what is the alternative? Do I have other people in the pipeline? I mean, this is my A customer. If everything goes smoothly, this is the customer that is my top priority. But if things don't go well, I still have my second priority, my third priority, my fourth priority. Right? It's not a good result, but at least I will not die. Right? So are you able to prepare for the alternatives? Are you able to tell the customer no? Okay, so this is when you're negotiating with a customer. And can I find out what are some of the key issues that the customers need besides price? And this is important because if you just focus on price, what do the customer want? 如果我们只是关注价格，客户要的是什么？ A lower price. And what do you want? A higher price, right? And then you're always fighting, right? If you're always focused only on price, it's always a conflict. If you want to have any kind of win-win result, any kind of collaborative result, it's things other than price. And you need to be able to guide the customer and say that price is important. But what are the other things that are also important besides price? And we can talk about those. Right, so this is when negotiating. Can you also help the customer feel safe when buying from you? Right, what will happen when something goes wrong? How do they know that this is the right decision? So these are something that you need to assure the customer it is safe. We can start small. We can do a certain way that it is easier for you to handle. Right, so this is a negotiation stage. And again, these are just some of the recommendations. Usually, I mean, today it's because we have time constraint. Usually what we do in a normal training is we put this as a flip chart. We turn it horizontally, 我们把那个白板纸就横过来拼. And for this stage, we get people to brainstorm. So these are the four phases, one of the four phases. In this phase, what are the bad behavior? Right? We let people talk about what are things that you should not do. The middle one is what are things that you should do, and what are some of the things that normally you don't think about, but it will make it even better. So these are things that we do in a training to get people thinking about what they should or should not do in the four phases. And ultimately, if you want to survive VUCA, and I think I don't know whether Kurt has seen this before. No. Because Kurt mentioned the word anticipate. Right? So there are four things to do. One, when I talk about volatile, things will go from good to bad, boom to bust very quickly. You need to be vigilant. Things will not be smooth all the time. 好日子不会很长久，随时都有改变。So you need to be vigilant. Maybe some things will go wrong. Okay. Number two is old ways may not work in the future. 你过去的那个成功的方法未必将来能够使用。So there's some things that you need to unlearn and relearn. The third one is if it's complex, how can you seek clarity? 怎么去把一个复杂的一个情况，就是做一些澄清，做梳理。And last but not least, think about 2, 3 steps ahead. We're not saying that you do the 2, 3, or 4 steps ahead. But sometimes you have to think about what could be the next thing, right? What will the next thing that the customer will do? What could be the next thing that the government will do in terms of regulations? So these are some things that we need to do in response to a very uncertain and volatile situation. So some advice. And if you want to sum it up in one word, guess where this is from? 这从哪里山寨过来？行千里不老者，行无人之地。Right, this is from Sun Tzu Out of War, 孙子兵法。Right, this is what they're saying is that if you can march 1,000 miles and not feel tired, you win, because everybody else has given up, and they are still continuing. You win. Right. The thing about VUCA is it's difficult for us. It is also difficult for everybody. 对吧？这个时期对我们难，这个什么这个状况，这个市场情况对我们来说难，对所有人都难。Right. So it's a matter of how you see things and how you want to perceive it. Right. And with that, thank you. Questions? Oh, if you came in a bit later, 这是我们那个二维码，就是扫了一下可以下载整个那个 PPT. Questions? Yes, Jason.
CJ, you were saying prepare the questions for the meeting when you meet to the client. Do you think it's a good idea or not to send them sort of like a bit of an agenda as to what we're going to be discussing? For example, improvements that could be made to the current arrangements.
You could. It's just that sometimes customers don't even read them. So yeah, you could. Some customers who are very planned and like to plan ahead will read them. Some customers who are not that organized will just forget about it.
I was just thinking,
Chinese customers.
Especially Chinese customers.
Yeah, but sometimes you need some, feedback, important information from customers. They need to prepare first. Then you need to tell them because they need to prepare right there.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I need to check.
Yes,
That's not good.
Yes.
And they haven't checked. They will not check. They just
Yes,
prepare.
yeah.
It's better to tell them to highlight.
So especially if you're doing some technical discussions.
Yeah.
So you may want to ask them about, we're talking about some technical issues, so these are some of the things we'd like to find out.
Yeah.
I think so.
So,
Yes.
how do I put this?
用中文可以。
Yeah, I want to ask about what level and what the seniority of the salesperson you are targeting this sales training for.
If it's something at this senior level, the why and the what, usually the sales managers, right? If it's usually the sales reps, we'll focus a lot on the how. So with things like, we say you need to plan your questions, like what kinds of questions? What is a good way of questioning? Usually we also say that before you ask any question, use the opening, we talk about the opening, use the opening as also a bridge to tell the customers why you are asking a question. 所以我们有时候在提问之前，有时候要让客户了解我们为什么要提问。So these are some of the things that if it's a real sales rep training, we'll go in deeper and we'll cover a lot of the how. Right? So for a more senior level, we'll focus on the why and the what. Any other things? Yeah, sure.
I'd like to know for all the sections you have mentioned, which one is the most important section in this training, or how much percentage? I mean, the most percentage is in which?
In a way, if you are really into 干货, the stuff that really works, this is the 干货. Right, so because this basically covers your entire sales process. VUCA is just a way to tell you that the market is always changing, there are certain things you need to be aware, these are the best behaviors, but eventually what are those behaviors and how are you going to have those? This is the core part.
Have some role plays?
Yeah.
Some role cases?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there'll be a lot of discussions about role plays in terms of we'll have, there are a few things. We will create some sample cases of role play scenarios. So we'll have we usually get one person to play the salesperson, one person to play the buyer, and one will be the observer, right? And then we'll create 3 different cases so that they rotate people. So the first case can be things that were created in the past. Okay, this is old customer but with a new purchasing manager. Right. And second case can be a totally new customer. Third case can be a customer that you offended in the past and did not buy from you in the last 5 years, and you just got this as your new account. So that sort of thing, and we will have people to role play for the questioning part and finding out needs and even presenting solutions. We also have cases for following through. This is a customer situation. They tell you that, oh, to do this person must approve, that person will have a stake, and this is a general situation in the company. And then, what do you think you need to do next? Who are the people? Who are the people who are decision makers? Who are the people who are what we call gatekeepers or fault finders? Who are the people who will be the users? Who will be your guide? So on and so forth, and what you need to do to win the sale. So we've got cases like this, where there's discussion, where there's role plays, there's a lot.
Do you have customers in medical device company?
Olympus.
How many sessions do they have for this training each year?
Depends. Because again, companies usually like to learn from external trainers, and then after a while they like to shanzai and then do internal. So we understand that, so it's okay.
I think really challenging is to not just to give the training to sales managers to have the value sales.
Sure.
Sell in value, not just to sell as a price.
Right, right.
Actually, also give them the training, but in the end, it seems that really they can change or use in their daily life. Seems
Yes.
not that much, I would say.
Sure.
So normally in two situations, either they want to say, okay, I have a very beautiful product, easily I can sell.
Yes.
That's always say, yeah, I have this feature, I have this feature, others they don't have. So it's
Yeah.
always easy.
Mhm.
Basically, in this case, just customer come to us.
Yes.
We are in a strong position.
Yes.
Yeah? You can't get from others.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
easy sales.
Yes.
But then also we have a product like it's really difficult because competing with local competitors.
Yes.
In this case, to talk about the value and we want to maintain high price,
Yes.
this have to show
It has to.
competence of
Yes.
salespeople.
Yes. Yes.
That is something.
The salesperson
still
must
really-
believe in your value.
Yeah.
If they don't, they're lost. Especially when you're high price and you cannot compete price with a local competitor.
Yeah.
So exactly what? Sometimes you gotta ask the salesperson. We are more expensive. We are less flexible. We have a longer lead time and so on. So why do our customers still buy from us? Right? It's not like customers are ditching us and just go totally local. Local companies are more flexible, they're cheaper, the quality is not too bad. So why do they still buy from us? There must be some reason. It can be because we are more reliable. If you are looking at large-scale production and large-scale mass delivery, we have less defects per 1,000, million, whatever, than the local competitor. So the quality may be the same per unit, but the consistency, predictably, is a lot better with the foreign company. We have better technical advice how best you need to make your options, right? Which a local competitor may just say, this is whatever you want, you choose the cheapest price and you just buy, right? Will this change in the next 5 years? We don't know. Maybe the local competitors will also be better in the next 5 years and still cheaper, maybe. But for now, a lot of local competitors basically still sell a lot on price instead of giving insights and advice to their customers. The better ones maybe, but usually not. Anything else? Right, if not, this is what we'll do. Just to inform you, coffee is free flow. Right, so I don't know, if you get a cup of coffee at Starbucks, how much is it now? 25, 27? 30? Right, so if you pay 200 Kwai for this event, make sure you have 7 cups of coffee, right? You make the money back. And of course, please feel free to have the croissants and fruits. And if there are certain things that you like to find out more, if you want to have, there are certain cases that, because it's a public event, we cannot share, but if you want to have some cases that we have done in the past, we can talk about it in private. Right, so thank you for your time. Hope you enjoy the session. Thank you. 外面大家自便。
It's not even approved the entire program.